Today we are going to consider another aspect of waiting. You want to travel, you have that feeling. So many people here say, I'm looking for holidays. And UK is a fantastic place for holidays. Not inside, but outside. People for years and years got used to run to the airport at every announcement of holidays so that they can go to sun-bathed countries. For us, we're not interested. We like home, and we have long ago adopted another way of moving that they call now a new word that is called staycation. Staycation. So people stay in the country, and what happened? The pandemic, of course. But sometimes you have to travel. Not for holidays, or not just fanciful holidays or time out, but you have to travel for work or travel for a family event. And Paul, in the Acts of Apostles, the story of the first Christians, traveled a lot. He was an apostle, that is, he was someone that had been sent by God to plant churches. So he was always on the move. And remember those days, there was no plane, there was no car, not even a bike. People traveled by road, walking, or using donkeys. Some traveled by boat, and that is what Paul was doing a lot. But he couldn't travel the way he wanted. Reason being, he had given his life to the Lord, and the Lord was his boss. And so he had to wait for information, for guidance. He was waiting for the information about the destination. And if you look at the 16th chapter of Acts, we are told that they traveled they went through the region of Phrygia and Galatia, have been forbidden by the Holy Spirit to speak the word in Asia. So they wanted to go to a particular place. Maybe they were told that people would be very happy to receive them there. But we are told that they were forbidden. So the way was bad. How do they know? How do they know? How did they know? And you know how God speaks. Through circumstances, making it difficult for you to go somewhere, or blocking the way another way. Maybe you want to travel to tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you don't feel well and you are at home, or you had planned to go to the allotment and then it's pouring rain so you stay at home, and all kinds of things. But you get used to God's voice. God said, I'm a shepherd, I'm the good shepherd. My sheep know my voice. You get used to his voice. Just like if I speak on the phone, my friends and family immediately know that I am the person speaking. Not necessarily because of my accent, yes, of course, but they recognize my voice. And you know something else? In a family, voices resemble. I have a voice that resembles that of my only sister. And several of the children have the same kind of voice. And it comes to a point I'm not too sure if you are unfamiliar with our voices, which one is the mother, which one is the child. And that is the way it should be with us and God. We are family to him, he is our Father, and so we should resemble him in behavior, in speech, and also our voice. the tone of our voice. Yeah? So they were forbidden. And then that come to Mysia, and they attempted to go into Bithynia, but the Spirit of Jesus didn't allow them. So passing by Mysia, they went down to Troas. They were still waiting for direction. So they were just, within a perimeter, waiting for God to say something. And then a vision appeared to Paul in the night. A man from Macedonia was standing there, urging him and saying, "Come over to Macedonia and help us." And when Paul had seen the vision, immediately we sought to go into Macedonia, concluding that God had called us to preach the gospel to them. So setting sail from Troas, we made a direct voyage to Samothrace, the following day to Neapolis, and from there to Philippi, which is a leading city of the district of Macedonia and a Roman colony. And we remained in that city some days. So that is a story of a group of people committed to God, working with Him and for Him, for the advancement of the kingdom. And so they didn't know the direction, and they knew that the one that called them knew the direction. So they waited. And sometimes God uses people to tell us. For example, when I met my husband and eventually we decided to marry, he told me, "You have to first go to Nigeria and see the country and know that you like it before you embark on a lifetime commitment." So he gave me addresses, and I applied to several universities as a potential lecturer. 4 of them answered me positively. How would I know which one was the one I should choose? I had no clue. But there was somebody behind me that knew, of course, my husband. So I told him, "Which one should I?" And he said, "Of course, that particular one." And he gave me reasons. He said, "Because it is closer to my home, it is within the same linguistic and cultural area, and thirdly, the climate is better for you." Nsukka was just out of equatorial climate, and it was hilly, so there was a mini climate that was really pleasant. So we chose that one, and I went there, and I spent 1/4 of my life there. That was the location that was chosen by God, guided by my husband, and confirmed by the joy and the happiness we had there, working for the Lord. So I want to encourage you. First of all, get closer to your boss and shepherd, and try to find out what he wants, what he desires. Listen to his voice and get used to his voice. Just like Moses listened to God. And you know that in that case, Moses was told something that he didn't want to hear. But he obeyed, yeah? And it was good for him and good for everybody. It turned out that he saved a lot of people by God's grace. So if you are waiting, don't rush into, jumping out. We have seen so many rates last year in the course of 2021 that wanted absolutely to go on vacation. They didn't know God, or they didn't wait for him to tell anything. They just bought a plane ticket. And you know what happened after. They barely stayed 2-3 days, and then all of a sudden there was a lockdown and they were obliged to come back. Or they were stranded and the airline would refuse to refund the price of the ticket. It was a calamity for many families. It's always a calamity not to listen to God's voice, not to take time to find out what is good. And this is only for long voyages? No, it is not. Even if you are planning to come out of the house for anything, sit down and think, should I? So, this is very important. So, happy holidays. Bless you.